his trickery, despite what he had done for the proconsul in his years of service to him, thinking that he could turn aside the proconsul, Paul demonstrated that God is greater. That God was not going to be opposed in this matter. Poor Elymas goes blind. Has to grope about for someone to lead him around. A once powerful man in the court of the proconsul, humbled and cast aside because he opposed the word of the Lord. He was rebuked by Saul because Saul understood that God is greater. And oh, by the way, what happens when Paul shows that God is greater? The proconsul believes. You see, Elymas failed to stop what he feared was going to happen, which is that the word of the Lord was going to find the proconsul. And it did, because God is greater. Sometimes in the heat of the moment we forget that that is what the Lord is to us. That He is our great God. A God who cannot be stopped. For as the prophet Jeremiah says in chapter 10, verse 6, "No one is like you, Lord. You are great, and your name is mighty in power." Or 1 Chronicles 29:11. "Yours, Lord, is the greatness and the power, and the glory and the majesty and the splendor, for everything in heaven and earth is yours. Yours, Lord, is the kingdom. You are exalted, head over all." Or John 16:33. "I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart. I have overcome the world." For God has conquered the world. He has created the heaven and the earth and everything in it. Above all gods, the living God is to be feared, for He is great. Remember that. Be strengthened by that fact. For in the end, the world will be made new, and it still will all be God's. Just like this passage and its numerous others in Acts, it serves to remind us how great God is. How great He is above everything. And that we can do all things through Him who gives us strength. So as we start off on these new journeys, as we go in this new bold direction, hold on to that fact. That God is greater. I can't help but keep thinking about how it's very interesting that we're covering this passage at this particular point. On this particular Sunday as we are starting something new. Something that we've kind of been scrambling to deal with. But when I read this passage, I take heart, as we all should, that God is going with us. continue to pray and seek after him. That we know that we are going in a new direction. Whenever you go in a new direction, there's going to be filled with its own challenges and barriers and things that you forget or things that aren't going to go as smoothly as they once did. But we should not become discouraged by all these things. Rather, we should continue and be encouraged that we are on the path that God is saying that this is where we are to be at this time. God has planned something for this church. But what it is, I don't know. But what I do know is that we serve a great and mighty God. Amen. Who is above and beyond what this world holds for us. So let us not forget that God is still going to do signs and wonders here at this church. That he still has work for us to do. That he will continue to bless us as we spread the word of the Lord. So today, let us do as the church Antioch has exemplified for us. That as we get ready to go on this new direction, I ask that you join me in constantly praying for this church, for the members, the direction that we are going to go on as we wait patiently to see what God is going to do. Pray that we are going to see greater things than we have ever seen. And that God will do as he wills with this community of believers. After all, we are his. So let us start on this new journey together in confidence in God, praying to seek his will, and knowing that he is great.